Should I just cut my own tongue out, bro? Hey, what's up, guys? Malt here, and we're back with some more. Who is the Red Queen? Well, actually, we already know who the Red Queen is. Now we're just trying to see, learn more about the story in general and the world, and also the White Queen, who we basically didn't see at all in the other playthrough. So, yeah, we're just gonna continue where we left off. Let's see here. The Duchess's ball. The White Rabbit gave me an invitation to see what she claimed to be an endless party. I dug out the invitation and let the White Queen see. Duchess's ball. We should be in no hurry. Alice, would you like to try on a dress? It seems fitting for we're going to a ball, but you might not have one if you aren't around from around these parts. My nod. She had the whole wardrobe of She had a whole wardrobe of dresses and accessories brought out and let me try them on. Lace and frills, silk and cotton, ribbons of various colors and glittering gems. What a variety! Not a single thing had been touched or worn before, as if unwanted gifts. They were pretty, but not quite her. I might understand why children like to doll up pretty girls. I'm not particularly... We tried a number of different outfits. I changed into my next dress, a red dress. Feeling the comfortable fabric on my skin, I twirled around to feel the dress. Red suits you, Alice. It does, doesn't it? I get it, because she's the Red Queen. For a moment, her gaze went far, far away, but perhaps not today. Must I wear a dress? I did not plan to be here for long enough to deal with the consequences, even if I particularly offended anyone. My plan was and continues to be to gather the Red Queen to leave. Therefore, if it would realign her gaze, then I prefer not to wear a dress. No, you need not worry about a dress. If you would prefer not to, the Duchess wouldn't be bothered. I did say that I could see the future, did I not? Let me reassure you of that, Alice. She too seemed relieved at what that I chose not to wear this dress. The dress must have been tailored for someone special, as it did not match the White Queen at all. Yeah, it was probably the Red Queen's dress. The one that she used when I was executing people. I changed back to my own clothes, feeling my cloak snug around me. This suits me best. In exchange for that, Fawn, will you allow me to do your makeup? I don't see why not. Fairy servants lugged over a makeup kit, bowing to me and her as she set it down. I looked at her face, the curve of her jawline, the shape of her lips. Seeing her up close, I felt a little flustered because she was so pretty. The tools given, I traced over her features. Alice, was she not already perfect? What was there to even cover up and make more beautiful? Truly, this was my white bird. Whose? Not wanting to ruin her features, I drew very little on, only dusting a light layer of blush on her cheeks. My hand hesitated. She shifted when the brush tickled her. She leaned in toward my touch, looking as if she would kiss me, and caused my heart to flutter and blood to rush to my head. Fiddling with the makeup tools, I retreated. That should be all. I didn't poke you, did I? Felt not a thing at all, Alice. You're in fact a very gentle person. A fairy queen brought her a mirror. What the fuck? A fairy servant brought her a mirror and called with a simple gesture from the White Queen. Looking upon my handiwork, I found that she had looked no different from before. Pretty and white, still, she seemed pleased. As I decided not to dress up, the White Queen chose to do the same. Shall we go? I extended a hand toward her. Certainly. She called a carriage, a pretty crystal thing whose coachman sat invisibly with but a shadow. The horses too were nowhere to be seen like fairies. We entered the carriage and off it went. I looked outside the windows, seeing familiar and unfamiliar scenery, some places I'd never passed by when coming to her garden. Our ride stopped amongst a number of carriages. I lighted, helping her down, and walked down to the Duchess's manor. Guard stopped us at the entrance. Halt! Please show your invitation card. I handed the guard the card, and he looked at us before stiffening in surprise. Your Majesty, the White Queen. Making eyes toward another guard, the guard gestured and led us inward a few steps towards... Oh, they didn't even ask for the arm this time because I had the Queen with me. The guard's fellow quickly darted inside as if to report the appearance of a rare visitor. To enter guest... Oh, never mind. Guests must provide an arm. The arm will be returned to you whenever you wish to leave the party. An arm, a limb. The guard nodded. Yes, I'm afraid I cannot make an exception for anyone. Should I offer my own arm and bleed to death? Yes. Let's do it. Let's just ruin this whole thing I have going with the White Queen by bloodying her red. Why don't we just do that? This seems like a good idea to me. I looked toward the White Queen. Alice, why not chop off the White Bird's arm? You had always... Wait, what? No. Why not chop off the White Bird's arm? You had already taken one royal's arm, so another arm was not much more. I shook my head to dispel the thoughts. Thank you. Will this arm suffice? I extended my own arm to the guard. Ignoring the White Queen tugged on my cloak while shaking her head to tell me to rethink. The guard nodded, leading us to the side and having me keep the arm outstretched above the table. Then he retrieved a clean, shining blade. The blade glittered with the sun and like the moon. Slash. With a clean cut, my arm came straight off and fell to the table with a small bounce. A sharp pain hit me the next moment. I stumbled back into the Red Queen, gritting my teeth as blood rushed out of the wound and dripped red. She reached out a cold hand to touch my shoulder. I squeezed my eyes shut in the expectation of a jolt of pain to run down my now severed arm. However, the pain never arrived. The numbness filled my flesh, the red seemed to slow. White Queen. The doctor arrived with some sort of medicine that she applied to the wound. Once the bleeding ceased, she bandaged my injury, warning me not to remove the bandage before I reobtained my arm. She made a respectful bow toward the White Queen. Alice, could you reattach it to the limb? You aren't a lizard, but a mere human. A little lightheaded, I shook off the question. The guard retrieved my arm, placing it into a sealed box before handing it off to another servant, who took it away to a safe place. Please enter, esteemed guests. The guard began to lead us in. Alice, this was not necessary. What was on your mind before you offered your arm? Nothing in particular. This seems like another branch that I should have probably not done. I was hoping that I would die from the arm. Kind of want to go back and not have my arm gone, so I don't ruin everything with the White Queen right now. You know what? Yeah, I'm changing too many factors here. Let's just not do that. Not that. Not this load. Nope. Where my load at? Where my load at? Load. I'll have to go to the Mad Hatter, though, who's not even with me. I glanced toward the White Queen, thinking of how I never mentioned the Hatter at my agreement, the agreement of blasphemy and lèse majesté. For reasons unknown, I felt strongly that the White Queen knew more about the Red Queen's dismemberment than I did. Perhaps she did not lie about knowing the future. Alice, of course she did. Let's go ask the Hatter. The Hatter, the one who lives in the woods and cannot sing? Are there many Hatters in the Wonderland? Perhaps there were, but just not many satisfactory enough. Without asking any further questions, she followed me. Wait a minute, I'm bringing her to the Hatter, though. I feel like I shouldn't do that either. Wait, there's too many factors here. Oh god, they're in the same place. I don't like this. Arriving at the Hatter's place, I found the Hatter having her usual tea time, chatting with the puppets on her hands. She spotted us sitting up straighter in her seat, seeming surprised at seeing the White Queen. Darkness stirred in her mismatched eyes as she saw my guest. Your Majesty, the White Queen. No room. 3, 4, 5. 5 is enough for all the people in this world. Don't be so rude to Her Majesty, the White Queen. You wouldn't want your heads to go flying again. I didn't bother to take a seat this visit, knowing that if I were to lounge in my armchair, I would stay there with the Hatter for much too long. We aren't here for tea, Hatter. A real shame. But rather an arm, preferably detached from anything else. Yes? The Hatter looked down at her own limbs. One of that person's would suffice. We only need to borrow one for a bit. An arm would be appreciated, Hatter. Is that so? Your Majesty, you'd like to borrow a limb? I'm surprised. After all, you were the one who did that. Did you lose it? I mean, what I mean to ask is, did you lose your trash? I have no idea what you're talking about. I forgot that it was supposed to be a secret. I suppose I shouldn't show my gratitude, and instead reflect on my rudeness. My sincerest apologies. Sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to mention the choppity chop. So she's the one who ordered the whole murder thing? The chop chop? Our heads haven't been the same since they fell off the first times. Bit of an open secret, don't you think? I ask you not to speak of that matter. I understand. Our lips are sealed. Zipped tighter than tight. Regarding that arm, Hatter. Of course. Oh, Alice, you were the one who found it. Hopped over to the dog cage and kept it open and pulled an arm out like a bear fishing from a stream. She held it far from her, and it began to flail and chucked it my way over the table. The limb flew an uneven arc throughout the air, forcing me to dash towards the piece of meat. I just barely caught it in my arms, nearly stumbling into the White Queen who stood near me. Her arm. The White Queen's eyes bored into the severed arm with distorted intensity. Bring it back later, Alice. I will. Okay, well, I go back and give the arm. He's like, huh, what the fuck? Great. And they hurried our entrance fee over and put it in a sealed box. Please enter, esteemed guests. We arrived at the Duchess's ballroom. Although the hostess was nowhere to be found, servants milled around the floor with refreshments for the guests. I want my arm to still be there, in case I need to use it for something. A quartet performed in the front. Food sat at tables to the side of the room. All around were faceless people, dressed up like clowns. The moment the White Queen stepped foot into the room, all heads turned toward her. The horde approached us, circling the White Queen so that she could not easily escape, yet they kept their distance as if gazing upon a rare zoo animal. Greetings to your Majesty the White Queen. You know what I should be doing? I should actually be doing regular saves too. Where the hell are my saves, bro? Was that a quick save? What the fuck? Have you been well? We have nothing but gratitude for you, for all you have done for this kingdom in the face of tyranny. Her Majesty was, oh no, was still a difficult topic to speak of. You'll jinx it. If you speak of the devil will appear. Your Majesty, won't you come visit the Marquisdom? Your white hair is as beautiful as snow today. No wonder you were so adored. Your beauty was such that even she was so enamored with your presence. We shouldn't speak of her. I wish I could touch your skin. You did us a good deed. A paragon of virtue. The heavens must sing your praises. You are truly the queen with the divine right to watch over Wonderland. It must weigh heavily on you to have to take such drastic measures. What are your plans now on the empty throne? Man, all of this makes so much sense now that I know that I'm the Red Queen for sure. And also looped. She's the one who ordered me chopped up for whatever reason. The rabbit, an animal still thinks that she can be found. This is what we get for letting vermin rise up to the ranks, but no one else wanted to be in that position. You said that because you're incompetent. Truly, this kingdom might fall into disarray, Your Majesty. Do you have any intentions for who might be relegated to rebuild Wonderland? You work so well, so why not take a good rest and let others do the dirty work? My husband, as always, exactly isn't here right now. Wasn't he banned for making a ruckus? Your Majesty, please don't take offense, but I know a wonderful place, brilliant volcanic springs, to recuperate from being locked away for so long. If you would consider my brother, White Queen, my hand brushing against hers. I was sick of hearing all the drivel leaking from the faceless crowd's mouths like a half-chewed slop. She nodded. I must go see the Duchess now to talk about matters of the Red Queen. Upon mention of the Red Queen from the White Queen's mouth, the pigs surrounding the White Queen collectively gasped and took a few steps back. Could it be? She nodded ambiguously, causing them to scatter with one excuse or another. Soon a servant approached, telling us the Duchess was ready to meet us in the parlor and that we could head over it as soon as we wanted. I spoke too soon. Was that simply a bluff to make them back away? Yes. It may just as well that we meet with Duchess because you are searching for the Red Queen to find your way back home. Shall we, Alice? I followed the White Queen through the manor hallways, glancing left and right at the familiar unfamiliar. Alice, the Duchess must have redecorated. What? Wait. Familiar, unfamiliar. I get it because this used to be my castle. What unspoken good deed had you done oh my god, what unspoken good deed had you done that the swine, I mean those nobility, would not leave you alone, Mr. White Queen? Absolutely nothing. She stopped, I stopped. The Duchess welcomes you. The guard before a room bowed and opened the door, letting us into the Duchess's parlor. Inside sat a featureless woman who hid her face. Instinct told me that she was ugly, yet I could not see anything, nor disfigurement, nor beauty. I perceived her. She was the Duchess. Welcome. Your Majesty and the White Queen, and what name did you go by now? Yes, Alice. Now, I get it, because she fucking recognizes me. The Duchess looked at the White Queen before glancing toward me, returning a sense of pity toward us. Your heart is still entangled. You didn't come to me for that advice, beloved White Queen. I believe you wanted to speak to me about our dearest Majesty, the missing Red Queen. Yes, it's Alice's matter. We told the Duchess about my circumstances. I fell into the world unknown and was seeking out the Red Queen in order to find a way home. We left out the part where the Red Queen was dismembered, but the Duchess already knew. We're searching for the Red Queen, but the Red Queen has been dismembered. To even request aid from her, you must assemble all of her pieces. As it so happens, I have her left leg in my possession, true, that I got from the other route. In that case, would you give it to us? I'll be giving it to a pair of guests at today's ball. It would be unfair for me to hand it off to you when another pair would have had to show their prowess during the limb. I'll offer something in exchange. You've nothing to offer, nor have you a true desire to meet our dearest Majesty again in this form or another. Of course, these are only my own thoughts. Forgive me for assuming, but I cannot give you the limb like this. Rather than letting her offer something in exchange, would it not be better for me to do so as the person searching? What convinced you to give up the limb, Duchess? I'll hold a little game today, and if you win, the limb will be yours. A game. Yes, a game. I'll kick your ass in chess. Our dearest Majesty loved her games, even if they were much too often cruel games with no winner, not even herself. I'm sure that Her Majesty the White Queen remembers. Will you not do me a favor, Duchess? No, not even for you. Her Majesty's most beloved. The White Queen looked away. Finding a little more we could say to convince the Duchess, we left the Duchess's parlor, seen off to the door by her. We returned to the ballroom to wait. This seems like the more canon route, since they keep mentioning how they used to be together. We returned to the ballroom to wait. The quartet continued playing. The previous crowd saw the troubled look on the White Queen's face and decided not to approach, only watching her from afar. Dancing pairs filled the floor. The White Queen eyed me as she wanted to request something. When I turned to question her, she pretended to look at the refreshments. Do you like dancing? Just the normal amount. You needn't feel restricted by me. I'll be fine with myself if you would prefer to have a dancer for you now that you're here. Alice, what is it? May I invite you to dance? I took her hand and we went towards the dance floor. Everybody walked the dinosaur. The next song started. Tap, tap, step, step. A practiced sequence of footwork moving across the room. At the rhythm of the music, we danced while gazing into each other's eyes. Without even saying that we should dance, we just danced. I took Alice's part. She took the White Queen's part, and there was nothing more. Feeling ambitious, I twirled her around, chuckling as she grew a little flustered when I caught her. I saw a strange expression as if she had expected something different, but the smile that floated to her eyes reassured me that I hadn't done wrong. The White Queen was always looking somewhere else. I couldn't dance with her if I only had one arm. I'm pretty sure. Perhaps to the future, perhaps to the past, perhaps to a person who wasn't there. Who wasn't here, even though we were here right now. This was our dance alone. Thank you. No, I enjoyed that. Can we dance together again one day? Perhaps one day we should. The music stopped along with the dancing. It was at this time that the Duchess made her appearance. Behind her was a servant carrying the severed leg under a red cloth. Tonight we have a special gift to be given to a single guest. We're holding a chess tournament. Fuck you. Get this leg, bro. May the best strategist win. Okay, it didn't even show me a picture of the leg this time, because I already knew what it was. Setting up the tables and chess sets in a matter of minutes, we match. Okay, yeah. If given a game and a player terribly good at the game, what would happen? Naturally, that player would win again. To my surprise, for this game that was chess. The player who was terribly good was the White Queen, even with the handicap of Alice as a teammate. But we made our way to the finals where we met with the last opponent not at the table, but cleared out space. Yeah, okay. Yep, there's a bunch of soldiers that are chess pieces. Human chess? Our dearest Majesty enjoyed watching games like this. One of you two will have to take the role of a piece, and otherwise I will provide the other pieces for you to play with. Please take your time to decide. Those blades that the Duchess's black pieces wielded looked heavy and sharp, dangerous. Alice, let me. You get hurt, White Queen. I would say the same to you. At the very least, the Duchess would hesitate to hurt me, for I am the White Queen. However, you are Alice. I know. In that case, I can't just let you take that risk. Funny, the idea of seeing you hurt pains my heart. We stood at a standstill, and the Duchess had a set of white pieces shuffle and take their spots on the board. One of us had to be the human chess piece. So making it myself makes it so I just kill people casually, but making the White Queen kill people is just as bad. But I'd be controlling her to kill people, which would make me a queen. I should probably let her control me again. Let me. I was at the best mediocre at chess, even with the tutors that smacked basic strategy into me. She would probably protect me at least. I prefer to trust the White Queen and set up command the board. She acquiesced, making me take on a pawn's position. Why would she do that? Pawns died pretty quickly. As I obtained a sword for my role, I speculated about what strategy she would formulate. The White Queen started with its first move. Directing the pieces here and there, moving me carefully as well, the White Queen captured the Duchess's black pieces with ease. Coming here with this girl who so resembles her, Your Majesty the White Queen, I wonder what you intend to do. In a way, I understand. She was so terribly, terribly bright. So bright that she would burn away. A brilliant and terrifying person that I could not help but watch. However, regardless of who this girl is, are you still unable to look away from that person? She's talking about how I look just like the Red Queen. The White Queen stumbled, sacrificing a bishop in a position that she had not meant to order him toward. No. Is that so? Not very good sportsmanship to say such things during a match, Duchess. Fair, then let us say nothing unrelated to the match. Of course, you are a piece on the board, so you too must stay silent, as chess pieces do not talk to their players. Thank you, Alice. I nodded an acknowledgement, keeping my mouth shut as per the Duchess's rules. She moved me all the way to the other side, as a pawn and one of the most disposable pieces on the board. I was oddly enough kept perfectly safe. I promote Alice to Queen. I get it! Promotion from pawn to queen consisted of handing me a flimsy white crown and a new sword. Within a handful of moves, the White Queen desolated the Duchess's black chest army, and rendering the Duchess's side nearly empty. The White Queen maneuvered me to the Duchess's black king, and with one last move we would win the game and obtain the Red Queen's leg. Checkmate, Duchess. I cut down the Black King, wondering why the sensation of my blade hitting his flesh felt so familiar. The Duchess clapped her hands. Congratulations, this is my loss. Even facing my challenge fair and square, you have ultimately obtained the Red Queen's limb. I do wish you the best of luck in gathering her parts for better or for worse. I am in no position to stop you, not when even your Majesty the White Queen approves. If our dearest Majesty is to return, then we must accept that and end the party. Would you like to take your prize now? Yes. The Duchess dusted over the servant with the prize and handed the leg to me. Hope you enjoy the rest of the ball, and your Majesty the White Queen, do come visit whenever you would like to talk with me again. The Duchess departed, with her servant following after her. Just as quickly as she left, the chess setups were cleared away. I looked towards the White Queen, touching her hand to gain her attention, and her hand felt cold. Do you want to stay for longer? She shook her head. I've had enough excitement for the day. Thank you for inviting me, Alice, although that last game of chess was nerve-wracking. I enjoyed spending today with you. No, thank you for coming with me. I feel the same. We found a servant to leave, and we're redirected outward. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna go. I'll leave you with this limb. Do you want to meet with the Red Queen again? That's a difficult question, Alice. I see. I already understood that she had a complicated relationship with the Red Queen, but I want her to look at me instead. Alice is right in front of her. No, at the very least, I wanted her to smile without looking at something so far away. Because surely the person she was looking towards was the Red Queen who had already been dismembered. We parted ways. Taking a wrong turn, I exit to a garden, and at the... Oh, I separated from her early in this one? I turned back to... Oh, wait, no, the White Queen's still with me. I turned back to ask the White Queen to find that... Oh, she'd already gone. This must have been the Duchess's garden thing, as I had... Oh, we already parted ways, so what do you mean when I looked around for the White Queen? As I had just come from her manor. I strolled through the garden, appreciating the flowers and greenery, yet couldn't help but compare it to the White Queen's garden. Perhaps I would go visit the White Queen again. Without much further ado, I made my way through the garden exit. Not even taking 5 steps out, I stumbled. A sudden vertigo struck me. Must have been a long day. Must have forgotten something very important. Look at the sky, eyelids flickering, pass out. Close my eyes for the moment, darkness. And now I'm at the Hatter's place. Wait, what the hell? This part's happening again? At some point, I made my way back to the Hatter's place. Hello, Hatter. I handed over the limb I had just obtained. At least that was... I didn't know. The Hatter took the limb and threw it into the dog cage with all the others. With this, you've gathered all of Her Majesty's limbs. Oh, so I have. You look terrible right now, Alice. Like us. Like us. I'm tired. Take a nap. I don't know if I want to anymore. This may be the last. I heard that. I was dreaming, falling into the dream. Tick-tock, tick-tock, into a throne. Dark, terrible throne, so horribly cold. It was lonely. I was the one who was on there. Yeah, okay, yep, this is all the same. Alice, you are exactly this person. Yes, I'm going to press skip. Yeah, I see the head again. Should I just cut my own tongue out, bro? And let myself speak? I hate this. I grabbed the cake knife from the other side of the table. I know. Without hesitation, I thrust the knife into my mouth. I began to cut, ignoring how the metal choked my airway and blood pooled up and dripped out of my lips. Sawed back and forth with this. How do I do this? With a slightly serrated knife, much too dull, tearing through my tongue. I cut and ripped and sawed. Connected my one string of flesh. Oh, stop! Oh, man, you ripped it off by force. I didn't want to swallow the piece of meat lingering in my mouth. Fuck, I hate this. Coughing and choking, I brought up a hand to my lips and blood spilled right past my fingers. The knife clattered to the ground. Great. Can she talk, please? My head hurt more than my mouth, the temples throbbing. Alice belonged to the Red Queen. I spit the bloody lump of tongue into my hand and gave it to the Red Queen with shaking hands, and that doubled and then tripled in my contorting vision. She seemed to swallow it. I heard a crunch from inside her mouth, a disgusting sound. Alice! Alice! She smiled, and I mirrored with a shaky smile. What a time for madness. With her hand still nailed to the chair, she shifted, crossing her legs as if to make herself a tad more comfortable. She laughed silently at me. I heard the Hatter call out, but only the Red Queen's voice reached my ears. Red, red, red wouldn't stop flowing from my mouth, dribbling past my lips. I pouring down my own a viscous metallic flow. How have you enjoyed my domain? Everything was spinning. I sputtered out a wordless response as I grew lightheaded, running in my own blood. Red was splitting over my armchair. No, I certainly have to clean up all the vermin that gathered when I was gone, and all the thoughts that mine should never have had. She looked at her hands and tore out the nails lodged in her, flashed quickly the skin and muscle in it together, leaving about a faint pinkish color on her skin. Picking up the nails, she threw them out like darts towards the Hatter. Although I couldn't look toward the Hatter, I heard an ugly piercing noise. For example, my little white bird. The Red Queen gave me a hand of applause. Alice, your job is done. Well done. Myself from another world. Oh, okay. This is the best that you could have accomplished with your life. You have my commendations. I couldn't breathe each time I gasped and wheezed. Only liquid flowed down my airway. Red, 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 painted my lungs red. Oops, I didn't mean to press that. I slumped over trying to hold myself up as I continued to bleed so much red that I couldn't bleed any further. Breathed so much red that I couldn't breathe any further. This was it for Alice. Thump. Wow, what a great ending. Death 6. That's my best. That's the best death yet. Okay, can I go back? I don't want to ever read that or think about that ever again. God, I hated that so much. I'm so sorry. Where is the tongue? Where is the tongue? I see. What? What do I see? You who are the same entity as the Red Queen. I can't let you go. Don't you understand? I see. For the sake of my revenge, you have to die, Alice. She spun the hammer in her hands, her face devoid of mirth as she stepped closer toward me. Meeting my eyes, their mismatched pair. This is my justice, Alice. Goodbye, Alice. Goodbye. She raised that hammer in her hand above my head. Crack. Oh, I died again. So this is all the same. Oh, what the fuck? Hold up. I felt as if I remembered something very important. I landed in a wonderland not quite right, one where the hourglass of time had reversed. Looking upward, I found a sky disordered and stirring with darkness that amplified my phantom headache that throbbed despite losing its cause. I placed my hand to my head, feeling a smooth skin where the hammer had struck. Like the first time, what should have been the first time? The first being I met was a white rabbit. Like Wonderland, today she seemed different, crueler. Unrestrained blackness in the back of her eyes. Your Majesty. The rabbit greeted me as if I was the Red Queen. No, perhaps I was. Alice, perhaps you were. Not bothering to acknowledge her, I let her continue speaking, saying what she had to say to the Red Queen in that obsequious tone of voice. Did you wish to visit Her Majesty the White Queen today? Yes. I gestured for her to lead the way. Following only a pace after the rabbit, I walked down an familiar path. The Wonderland was quiet, much quieter than I was accustomed to. Even the grass wilted away from my presence, not to speak of the animals. A report on Her Majesty the White Queen's affairs. As punishment for her previous transgressions, we've been regulating her to sleep 1 hour intervals as ordered. She has been much quieter as of late. I hope that she will learn the errors of her ways for disrespecting Your Majesty. Additionally, as per your orders, we have put her on a dietary restriction to regulate her weight. We found that some chefs have been sneaking her extra food. The chefs responsible have been sent to do hard labor. So that's so. The rabbit talked about the usual things. Walking, we arrived at a tall tree in a large bird cage, a location I recognized from when I had obtained the Red Queen's right leg once upon a time. Your Majesty's mood has been strange lately. Could it be? Are you questioning me, Rabbit? My sincerest apologies, Your Majesty. Leave. Bowing profusely, I just totally inherited it. Inherited being the Red Queen again. Bowing profusely, the rabbit backed away and scampered off. I approached the bird cage, so I'm the one who put her in here. Finding a pretty white bird locked within. No, I found the White Queen locked within that bird cage, much too cold. Alice, how would you catch her if you let her go free? She looked skinny, desperate, and as if she had lost all hope. This is the flower wood once picked. Wither once picked. The bird too would have flocked away from its sky. The White Queen is a human, not a bird. She was a person, not an animal. I knew that, Alice. I also knew that. I grasped the metal bar of the cage. White Queen. I have nothing to say to you, Red Queen. Her eyes betrayed an expression that could not be called hate. A complicated expression, a strange expression, one all too familiar. You won't even bother to treat me softly today after all you've done to me. Rather than the Red Queen, I am Alice. I doubted myself, remembering the Hatter's expression for a moment. You said you could see the future, White Queen. I suppose that must have been a joke, as I expected if you yet to know who I am. We meet in another wonderland. I may have fallen in love, and maybe my affections were one-sided. In a terribly beautiful garden, I was lost, chasing after a rabbit in confusion after falling down a rabbit hole into another world. I told the White Queen about my adventures in Wonderland. Then I came here and met a white rabbit who led me to you. I believe you. I want to. How fantastical that would be. I felt the same way speaking about the quest that dull Alice had found myself embarking upon falling through an endless void. Only a miracle could have brought me here to meet her and all the others in Wonderland. Can't you make the me of the future happy? I wonder. After all, my White Queen has always been looking far away. No, you wanted to leave after all. Remembering the key that I obtained in a previous Wonderland, I checked my pocket and pulled out that very same key. Take this. Holding it in a closed fist, I passed the key to the White Queen through the cage bars. She took the key with trembling hands, gripping it as tightly as the metal would disappear. As if the metal would disappear. Knowing that having the key was a risk, she hid the key away in her dress. Perhaps she would use it to escape from the Red Queen. Your Majesty, urgent news. There's been an incident in court with the cards. The rabbit's sudden reappearance forced her conversation to a halt. The Red Queen will kill them all. Don't go. The White Queen gestured to me, telling me to lean in close to her. She moved up the bars of the cage and close to me as she could come. Until later, Alice. And then she gave me a peck on the cheek. Oh, okay. And then I died again. Fell down through a sparkling and shining darkness. Too bright to be dark, too dark to be bright. I recognize this darkness now. I wanted to be chasing after someone, after something. Falling, I fell until I landed and saw the night sky above me. Before me was laid out. Oh god, this is when she cuts me in pieces. Before me laid out was a scene between the Red Queen and the White Queen. I was like a spirit, invisible to all who were present. The Red Queen was on the ground before the White Queen. The sword in the White Queen's hands, the blade glittered in the moonlight, betraying its sharpened edge. Behind the White Queen stood a group of denizens of Wonderland. Off with their heads for the crime of treason! The Red Queen's shoulders shook once in surprise that nothing happened. Not a single head went flying with mysterious force. Huh. They're my citizens now, Red Queen. You may not touch them. Your right only extends to those you have subjugated, not mine. You were once sole ruler of Wonderland, but now you have lost. I united this dirty, broken world and tried to make everything right. Protect the people, uphold the law, bring order to Wonderland, and find its peace. In which way was I wrong? Red must spill for peace, but it seems some people prefer freedom over all else. We were born just as space and time were, created at the genesis of this world. We were the only two existences of this distorted wonderland. Therefore, given such power, we were the rulers of Wonderland with divine right. You're the one who gave it away first because you were weak. So I took all the responsibility onto myself because I loved you. Were you not happy within my cage, protected from the outside world? We are the only two of our kind in this world. If you do not care for this place, I'll let you live a beautiful life within a cage. I'll let you stay beautiful white. I loved you dearly, White Queen, but you were the same as anyone else. Traitor. I'm almost sad. No. Heartbroken. What choice do I have now? White Queen, you'll cut me down now, won't you? Or will you continue to be a coward? Show me your conviction to betray me. There can only be one victor if we are to be pitted against each other. I couldn't see the Red Queen's expression. I loved you. I betrayed you. You were the one who betrayed me first. The White Queen raised her sword and cut. Oh, there goes an arm. A limb. A sharp pain shot up through my arm even though I was not the one who was cut. Who betrayed who first? You were in charge of time. You who are in charge of time? Second limb. I screamed as I grabbed at a wound that did not exist with an arm. My brain scream was no longer attached. It hurt, but no red came out of me. Should know better than me. Third limb. Final limb. The blood splattered all over the White Queen's dress, staining her red as the Red Queen's bloody body shook. In agony, I gasped. My vision shook, tilting as I lost equilibrium and filling with tears. I collapsed to the ground, writhing even though my limbs were still intact. I didn't even know what to clutch at, what to clutch with. You're also a sadist, aren't you? I'm just angry. Finally, off went her head. Once, thrice, twice, thrice, the White Queen hacked at the Red Queen's neck as if taking out her frustration, on a neck already severed. My consciousness snapped. My vision blacked out. The sound of cheering brought me back to this Wonderland's reality. The once quiet crowd began to celebrate the dismembered Red Queen. We're free! The tyrant is dead! Your Majesty, the White Queen, won't she be the new ruler of Wonderland? No. Her voice was quiet, fragile. I would appreciate it if you would all keep news of this murder quiet. She did not turn around, not wanting to show the difficult expression that found its way onto her face. Ignoring the joyous clamoring of her people, the White Queen looked down at the Red Queen's corpse. So the White Queen was the one who dismembered the Red Queen. I choked out a pained laugh at the revelation, grabbing at my neck to ascertain that I had my head. I was dying, yet I wasn't dying. And I was intact. I was still intact. The one who had been dismembered was the Red Queen. However, we were nearly one and the same. Alice? The White Queen's whisper broke me out of her stupor, her gaze landing directly on me to the point that our eyes met, and she would not look away. She walked forward 2 steps, both toward the Red Queen's corpse and toward me. Alice. Reaching out a hand, she tugged at my ephemeral form. How does she see me? Then I was falling. I was falling again, the raging phantom pain that had me nearly catatonic, faded with a chilly sensation reminiscent of the White Queen. In this deep, deep rabbit hole where time was but an illusion, I fell and healed. I was Alice. I was the Red Queen. We were one and the same but divergent. The voice within my heart quieted till she no longer spoke. I still held that one certainty. I was Alice. Alice was me. And even now that wasn't wrong. But I was also the lonesome Red Queen. What could have been for her, she who had been killed at the end. What madness. We were both our own madnesses, but I wanted not to be my own tragedy. I fell forward into my relative present and hit the ground softly. Laying back flat on the ground, I grasped the grass below me and found that the blades were soft, gentle even. Above me, the sky was devoid of stars. No, it was still daytime, so I should have instead said that the sky was blue, terribly blue. I forced myself up to my feet, surveying a wonderland that I learned to know. This was no longer the Red Queen's wonderland, yet it was not the White Queen's either. Thinking about the White Queen, I want to try to talk to her. No, Alice, you've got to finish a matter first. My mind drifted to a pair of mismatched eyes. Okay. We'll properly finish this ending on the next episode. Sorry, guys. I just don't want to run this episode for too long because there's 2 things I still want to do. I want to finish this ending, which is revealing a lot more for us. Where everything is really just piecing together now. It's so cool how it is. And there's a 3rd ending that I need to figure out how to get. So I don't think the next episode should be a stub. We're gonna finish this episode, this ending, and then I'm gonna figure out how to get the last ending, and we're gonna do that, and maybe we could do that all in one episode. Who knows? But until then, this episode is over. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like this video, please leave a like down below. It helps me a lot. I'm getting pretty into this story. This is pretty cool. At first, I was kind of iffy on this game, and now I'm really fucking into it. So I'm glad I played it. This is really cool. If you like this video, please leave a like down below. It helps me a lot. Subscribe if you haven't. And as always, I hope you guys all have a great day. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.